Yo, Copper fam, David Vujancic here, and I'm at the Emirates, and I've been invited to catch up with Jeremy Corbyn at an event run by a wonderful charity called Show Racism the Red Card. I want to find out more about what they do and catch up with the main man himself. Yo, Copper fam, I am here at the Emirates and I'm catching up. Since the election, I believe it was July when we caught up last time on Hackney Marshes.
We were there in July, yeah.
That was fantastic, a different time. It was a youth quake, as they said, apparently.
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, that's very beautiful out there.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm a Liverpool fan. So
really?
I've been there on the away end quite a few times actually, and I think it gets a bit too quiet though, atmosphere-wise at the Emirates.
It's not called the library for nothing.
That is a good point. I feel like we could literally.
There's a bar around the corner that's just open called the library.
Jeremy, I've got to get into the intro while we're here.
I know, but I'm helping you.
No, I'm trying to get into it.
I'm trying to help you.
Look, we're here for Show Racism the Red Card, a wonderful charity. What makes you want to get involved in that? Why is it so important to you as a person?
Football is the greatest sport in the world.
100%.
More people around the world understand, follow, or have an opinion on football than anything else. In almost any country in the world, if you don't know somebody, you can usually get a conversation going surrounding football.
So I mean, in terms of the racism aspect, I heard you speaking earlier, you know, how do we clamp it out and how do you compare it to how it was maybe in your day when you went to games?
What do you mean, my day?
Yeah. When
You get out of that one, yeah.
You're MP. I don't know. I'm just digging a grave now, innit? How do I recoup this one? Okay,
Can I help?
Okay, when you were actively more at games.
Well, I go to games now, but not as often as I
I got
did.
it. No, exactly.
I'm helping you here.
Yeah.
I've been going to football off and on all my life, and as a kid I used to go to Wolves at Molineux, and then when I moved to London I came to the old Highbury and I went to games at White Hart Lane as well, and the levels of racism then in society and on the pitches were awful. Racist jokes on television, racist reporting in newspapers, and racism on the terraces. And the black players that early on played for well-known clubs got a terrible time. I mentioned Clyde Best, who played for West Ham and used to throw things on the pitch when he was playing. The three at West Brom were absolute pioneers, and there were many others. When they see a mixed team, black and white players, on the pitch, that's surely a message in society. Because Arsenal is a great team. They've had and still have and always will have a lot of black players, and I think it's a good message. But it also is about saying sport has got to be a safe place for everybody. And what I was talking about in there was the World Cup. The World Cup is the greatest sporting show on earth, and if FIFA totally, absolutely say 0, 0, 0 tolerance of racism in any form during the World Cup, what a message that is for the whole world.
Yeah.
It's up to them.
For sure.
And they can do it. If they want to, they can do it.
Yeah,
it's going to be quite difficult in the early stages of the World Cup. But if they just say, look, any racism, the match stops until those racists are ejected from the stadium. Any player abusing another player on racist grounds, yellow card, red card, off.
What would the advice be from Jeremy Corbyn for young people right now? How do we act in such a time which is so fueled with a lot of division, it seems?
The message I gave in the rallies we did during the election campaign, I said, look around you. Don't listen to me. Look at each other for a moment. And what's he doing? What's he doing this? Is this some kind of religious experience? I said, no, look at each other. I said, who are we? We're young, we're old, we're men, we're women, we're black, we're white, we're gay, we're straight. And why are we here? We're here because we want a different world. We're here because we respect each other. We're here because we want to achieve equality for all of us. We're here because we see a possibility in everybody of achieving something.
That's, beautiful message. I mean, the youth quake. Obviously, that's how we connected at first, and I personally have, backed you from a while back, and I don't see myself as left or right. I'm just, on a human kind of wavelength, and I believe you connect with a lot of those people. And then recently they've been saying that the youth kind of impact it was a myth, etc., etc. But I really don't. It seems like another smear campaign or something. Well, why is it that the youth are always so almost? I'd say we're devalued a lot of the time.
It's the commentariat hitting back, because the commentariat from when we were first elected in the leadership of the party in 2015 was saying it's impossible, you can't do it. We then produced the manifesto, which was transforming. It was about investing in people, was ending austerity, was taxing the very rich more in order to pay for health and education and infrastructure development. And we saw impossible, nobody's ever going to vote for that. And then the election campaign, we got the highest vote for Labour for nearly 20 years. And since then, they're saying, well, it wasn't really a youth quake at all, it was this. Well, it was a lot of people coming together, as I said, young and old and so on. But a lot of young people registered to vote for the first time. We cannot go on saying to young people, if you want to get an education, get into debt. If you want to get anywhere to live, get into debt. If you want a pension, get into debt. Sorry, we as a society should be investing in our young people. Sure. Yes, it means taxing at the top. I'm prepared to do that. A
bit more football stuff, because they want to hear. Mesut Magic says, were you happy with Arsenal's transfer window business?
I was happy that Arsenal got eventually what we wanted, and that the endless debate about Alexis Sanchez was over, and he finally moved. I was really pleased when Alexis came, and I thought him and Ozil linking up together, and then eventually with Lacazette as well, could have been a brilliant combination, but clearly Alexis wanted to go. But I'm actually also very pleased that Ozil has now signed a longer term contract, so I think we're in a much better place, and the performance against Everton showed just how good Arsenal can be.
Artin Bahrawi says, who are your favourites for the World Cup?
I'd love to say England, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be Brazil or Germany. KR13R0996. If you could compare yourself to one footballer past or present, who would it be and why? Oh God, this is difficult because
who is a Jezza on the pitch?
I'm not a very good footballer.
And I saw your kicking skills in Hackney Marshes. It was intriguing.
It was different.
It was different. I like that unique approach.
The player I really liked talking to was actually Jens Lehmann, the Arsenal goalkeeper. He was a very interesting guy.
Yeah, goalkeepers tend to be. David James as well.
I've got a lot of time to think about things.
I'm a goalkeeper, so big thinker.
But I think the goalkeeper is actually the hardest thing.
100%.
Because you have to concentrate for the whole of the match. And hopefully, most of the time, you haven't got very much to do. You've got a good side. And that's when it must, I mean, you must know this. It must be really hard to totally concentrate when all the play is like 50, 60 yards away.
100%.
And you're trying to
just go into Wonderland.
And it's quite difficult to see it.
Start thinking about socialism.
Start thinking about socialism, start thinking about the weather.
Angus WBA says, who'd win a penalty shootout between you and Theresa May?
I would like to think I'd succeed in doing that, but you've already damaged my esteem about my kicking skills, so I'm beginning to have doubts about this already.
Because last time we had a comparison of Istanbul. I spoke about how the last election was Istanbul. You came back, you were at 3-3, and it seemed like, either now, have we now entered extra time? Is this like an extra time scenario, or have you got like a different analogy for where we're at right now?
There might be some team changes on the other side.
Ooh, AC Milan about to bring on some changes. Okay, I like that. All right, let's keep on going.
But we are strong and stable.
Oh, just Jeremy.
I like giving you these original remarks.
So many cool questions have come in for you, as always. Young people want to interact with you on a footballing basis and to find out more about what you think. Alex Klein says, what do you think of rising transfer fees and wages in modern football? And if there's a role for the state in capping fees?
I think there has to be something done on this, because what we've got in football, ever since the Premier League was founded, the imbalance between the top of football and the rest has got bigger and bigger, and is now massive. We've got a wonderful club here, and they do great stuff in the community, but you don't have to go very far away from any state-of-the-art football facility like this to small amateur clubs that can't afford to paint the changing room. Football has to be fairer. So at the very start, what we want to do is require the Premier League clubs to pay more into sport as a whole, to grassroots sport, so there is a cascade effect through it.
Okay, what was your first reaction to this photo? Because you've been, I believe, given a shirt by this man, but that was an intriguing one. Because that's your club.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's Piers Morgan. I'm very surprised he isn't raising the Arsene Wenger question with Donald Trump. because it's all he seems to raise everywhere. I think it's a great idea to give him a shirt. I don't know why he gets the number 45. Where does that come from?
Maybe he just thinks, I don't know, Balotelli or something, that he's the outcast. I don't know. Nathan actually says this one is a bit of a funny one, but he says, why is Freddo's constantly going up in price? Is there a secret Freddo tax we don't know about?
I think there's a very obvious motive in that those that make Freddos know it's popular, so they're making a bit more money.
So it's not a secret, it's just that trying to make more money, right?
I think it's a bit of money involved.
This might change stuff. Would you lower the price of Freddos? Would you try?
I think we need to examine this question in some detail and see if we can't, if there's excessive profit making by those who make Freddos, then they've got us to answer to.
There you go, Freddo prices are going down. What's been the lowest point of your political career and what kept you going? What's kept you going?
The point when I was most depressed about things was when, in my view completely wrongly, Parliament voted to go to war in Iraq in 2003. I think it was a disastrous decision and mistake. I wasn't a supporter of Saddam Hussein. I wasn't a supporter of what he was doing in any way. I just felt the war was utterly the wrong thing to do. And what I said at the time was, this war will have consequences we can only begin to realise years later in the rise of terrorism, rise of hatred and other wars and a crisis for refugees. I think that was one of the worst points.
And what kept you going?
My determination to live in a world of peace, my determination that the job of public representatives is to listen to the people you represent, but also to recognise that everybody has a contribution to make to our society.
Thank you very much for that, Jeremy. Wonderful interview once again. Show racism, the red card. Thank you guys as well for having us. Thank you very much. Can we end it with a have a nice? You have to say it though.
Have a nice.
Legend, absolute legend.